We've come to this place to remember all those who were caught up in the courageous but tragic events of the First World War. We remember those who were killed in action or by disease, the bereaved, the lost, the families which were shattered, the wounded, maimed, and injured, those who held in silence unspeakable memories of warfare. As we remember those who fought and those who remained anxiously at home in this community, let us pray that God will heal all memories, speak a word of peace, and bring us his healing.
Veterans Day was actually established after the Korean War. The original, the 11th day, 11th hour, 11th year, 1918, was the Armistice signing. And so Armistice Day was dedicated for the recognition of the cessation of hostilities in World War I. So today is the actual 100th year anniversary. Tomorrow will be Veterans Day. But again, as people understand that, and even as a child I understood, we took flowers to sites for Armistice Day, but I don't know the exact date. But after the Korean War, it was later decided that they would make it Veterans Day, recognizing the Great War, considered to be the end of all wars, was not, and that we have continued conflicts.
Today, as we are doing here, people around the world are marking the 100th anniversary of Armistice Day, pausing for a moment to recognize those who sacrificed their lives in the defense of our freedom and our democracy. The First World War was a global conflict that forever altered the course of history. The war killed over 10 million military personnel, including 116,000 Americans, and almost as many civilians.
The importance of today particularly is the 20 by 30 foot flag, which I have here, that was donated by the flag lady, which is traveling to various states. And so today, before dusk, we will unveil and fold this flag. The importance is to capture that this flag has been to Radnor already, but earlier on in its history. Now we're up to probably the third year the flag has been traveling, and we've reached over 3,000 people who have unveiled and folded this flag.
Merion Tribute House was built in 1924 after World War I. It was dedicated to the veterans from this neighborhood of Merion. There were 81 of them. And the community was wealthy, still is, but it was wealthy at the time, and raised money to build a peace memorial house back then. Slow going a little bit in the fundraising until Mr. Eldridge Johnson came along, who owned the property that we're standing on now. And he had his estate here. He donated it, had it demolished, raised money, and donated some funds for the building of this, and oversaw all the design. Really wanted it to be a very special place and a unique, one-of-a-kind architecture.
The beauty of this house is that there are many architectural features, not only the stained glass windows over there under the archway of the units that participated, but cast moldings, sand cast moldings like the archway up at the top of the peak there, which shows the three branches of service that were involved. The architecture and the attention to detail is probably one of the most beautiful structures, recognizing individuals who lived and served during the Great War, possibly in this area or across the United States.
Since we were built, after World War I, and it was in tribute to those soldiers, we couldn't let this year go past without some sort of commemoration. And we felt, the Lower Merion community needed, in this area, needed a time just to kind of reflect on that World War and the start to this whole area, really.
The Merion Tribute House, the Boy Scouts, Lower Merion Historical Society, and I stepped forward because I know many of the individuals here, and I wanted to make sure that I could possibly participate in some way, recognizing our unit, the Philadelphia Light Horse, had served in the Great War, and thus the uniform I'm wearing, a cavalry uniform, represents members of our unit that ran a remount facility in Augusta, Georgia. This is an anniversary. It's a one-time deal. It's the 100th anniversary, and so there may be in the future events, but today is significant because of the day and the 100-year marking of the end of the Great War at 11 o'clock.
In Flanders fields, the poppies grow, between the crosses, row on row, that marks our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields.